Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Close. Open. Hey, it's Rohan, and I will be showing you my code overview for my prosthetic or robotic arm that is controlled through sound. So basically, in this first line right here, it basically is configuring the sound sensor, but this code was generated by Robotics, as this comment says. I went over here, and then I went to motors and sensor setup, went to sensors, and then I configured this sound sensor dB, sound sensor decibel. And then after that, I wrote the task main function, which starts here on this bracket and then ends at this very last bracket. The task main function is necessary for every single C program in the Robot C framework. And then inside my task main, I created a while loop, which basically ran everything inside of it infinite times. As you can see, this code right here. And then this while loop ends to the second last bracket. So basically, inside this while loop, I basically controlled all the motors depending on what the sensor value or what the sound sensors what the sound sensor is reading from the sound input. So I basically say if sensor value S1, which basically means the sound sensor, is greater than 50, which means basically what the program takes into account for the sound sensor is a scale from 0 to 100. So a 50 would be kind of in the middle, 0 being a very low sound like a whisper, and a very high sound, a very loud sound would be 100. So 50 is around right in the middle. So I'm saying if it's if it's greater than 50, so maybe a little louder of a sound, then control these two motors. So basically in these two lines, 11 and 12, I'm basically operating the motor. And what is basically happening is it is closing the claw. So I could just write this to make it more clear. I'll just write a comment saying close. Yeah, so basically it's closing the claw in this. And then it's going to do that for 500 milliseconds or half a second. And then once it does that, I'm making the motors go again at a power of 2. Oh, I forgot to explain. Basically what this means when it's equal to 20, it's basically how powerful it is. And like the sound sensor, it ranges from 0 to 100. So 20 is a little bit lower. I just did this so, you know, if there was something delicate, maybe it wouldn't destroy the object. Okay, so back here. So I put these two motors on a very low power, so that, because in this situation, I only control these two motors to sort of grip the object. So it's not gonna it's only gripping the object. That's why it's very low powered. It doesn't need really anything high. If I put it higher, it's just going to mess up the entire thing. It's just gonna the claw is just gonna go. It's just gonna destroy the entire claw because you know, the sensors are being overpowered and all. And then okay, so then after that, so basically these are being gripped by the claw's gripping it in these two lines. And then basically I put an if statement inside of an if statement. So basically if this thing happens, after this happens, if it happens one more time, so while this is in the if statement, so let's just say if the sensor value is over 50, so then it'll activate these two. So while these two are being activated, while the motors are activated while it's closed, if it happens again, then it will open. So it says again, if the sensor value is greater than 50. So it's the same thing. So basically, it's going to activate under the same purpose. And then in this case, it's going negative 20 power. Basically, I know it's pretty much impossible to go negative power. But basically what this means is it will go the opposite direction. So obviously if the servo motors are going the opposite direction, it will open. So this is basically opening the claw. And then again, it's doing it for 500 milliseconds. I had to do some guess and check work to figure this out because it's different for every power, and yeah. So then this will keep on repeating. This code right here will keep on repeating because of this while loop, while true. You can use this in pretty much any C program to run code over and over, unlimited times. Okay, thanks for watching, and I hope you liked the video.